repair to the enchanted house, where there are lights, chattering, music, flowers, officers, I am sorry to see, and the eldest Miss Larkins, a blaze of beauty. She is dressed in blue, with blue flowers in her hair, forget-me-nots, as if she had any need to wear forget-me-nots. It is the first really grown-up party that I have ever been invited to, and I am a little uncomfortable, for I appear not to belong to anybody, and nobody appears to have anything to say to me except Mr. Larkins, who asks how my schoolfellows are, which he needn't do, as I have not come there to be insulted. But after I have stood in the doorway for some time, and feasted my eyes upon the goddess of my heart, she approaches me, she, the eldest Miss Larkins, and asks me pleasantly if I dance. I stammer with a bow. With you, Miss Larkins? With no one else? Inquires Miss Larkins. I should have no pleasure in dancing with anyone else. Miss Larkins laughs and blushes, or I think she blushes, and says, next time but one, I shall be very glad. The time arrives. It is a waltz, I think, Miss Larkins doubtfully observes when I present myself. Do you waltz? If not, Captain Bailey. But I do waltz, pretty well too, as it happens, and I take Miss Larkins out. I take her sternly from the side of Captain Bailey. He is wretched, I have no doubt, but he is nothing to me. I have been wretched too. I waltz with the eldest Miss Larkins. I don't know where, among whom, or how long. I only know that I swim about in space with a blue angel in a state of blissful delirium until I find myself alone with her in a little room, resting on a sofa. She admires a flower, pink Camellia japonica, price £0.50, in my buttonhole. I give it her and say, I ask an inestimable price for it, Miss Larkins. Indeed, what is that? Returns Miss Larkins. A flower of yours that I may treasure it as a miser does gold. You're a bold boy, says Miss Larkins. There. She gives it me, not displeased, and I put it to my lips, and then into my breast. Miss Larkins, laughing, draws her hand through my arm and says, Now take me back to Captain Bailey. I am lost in the recollection of this delicious interview, and the waltz, when she comes to me again with a plain elderly gentleman who has been playing whist all night upon her arm, and says, Oh, here is my bold friend. Mr. Chessel wants to know you, Mr. Copperfield. I feel at once that he is a friend of the family, and am much gratified. I admire your taste, sir, says Mr. Chessel. It does you credit. I suppose you don't take much interest in hops, but I'm a pretty large grower myself, and if you ever like to come over to our neighbourhood of Ashford, and take a run about our place, we shall be glad for you to stop as long as you like. I thank Mr. Chessel warmly and shake hands. I think I am in a happy dream. I waltz with the eldest Miss Larkins once again. She says I waltz so well. I go home in a state of unspeakable bliss, and waltz in imagination all night long with my arm round the blue waist of my dear divinity. Some days I am lost in rapturous reflections, but I neither see her in the street nor when I call. I am imperfectly consoled for this disappointment by the sacred pledge, the perished flower. Trotwood, says Agnes one day after dinner, who do you think is going to be married tomorrow? Someone you admire? Not you, I suppose, Agnes. Not me, raising her cheerful face from the music she is copying. Do you hear him, Papa? The eldest Miss Larkins. To Captain Bailey? I have just enough power to ask. No, to no captain. To Mr. Chessel, a hop grower. I am terribly dejected for about a week or two. I take off my ring. I wear my worst clothes. I use no bear's grease. and I frequently lament over the late Miss Larkin's faded flower. Being by that time rather tired of this kind of life, and having received new provocation from the butcher, I throw the flower away, go out with the butcher, and gloriously defeat him. This, and the resumption of my ring, as well as of the bear's grease in moderation, are the last marks I can discern now in my progress to 17. Chapter 19. I look about me and make a discovery. I am doubtful whether I was at heart glad or sorry when my school days drew to an end and the time came for my leaving Dr. Strong's. But it is not momentous in my recollection. I suppose the opening Mr. Dick regularly assisted at our councils with a meditative and sage demeanour. He never made a suggestion so very ungraciously that he never ventured on a second, but ever afterwards confined himself to looking watchfully at her for her suggestions and rattling his ability to do wood for 3 weeks or a month, and no other conditions were imposed upon my freedom than the before-mentioned thinking and looking about me and playing, saying much, for there's no head in my right hand, and no heart. Everyone who knows you consults with you and is guided by you, Agnes. Everyone who knows me spoils me, I believe, she answered, smiling. No, it's because you are like no one else. You are so good and so sweet-tempered. You have such a gentle nature, and you are always right. You talk, said Agnes, laughing again. Oh, that was as a child or a schoolboy, said I, laughing in my turn, not without being a little shamefaced. Times are altering now, and I suppose... Tell me what it is, she said in a low voice. I think... Shall I be quite plain, Agnes, liking him so much? Be quite plain, Agnes, liking him so much? Well, ma'am, said the doctor cheerfully, I am not bigoted to my plans, and I can't